This video initially poses the question, did a super version of Lois Lane and more characters lead to the creation of Supergirl? Then the video shows the incredibly exciting evolution of Supergirl's appearance from her first appearance in 1959 up through 2024 on a chronological series of comic covers, while information about Supergirl is provided, but is not intended to correspond with the specific covers being shown. The comic book that started the process of creating a female counterpart to Superman was Action Comics number 60 in 1943, cover shown here, and it did not even put this super important event on the cover. So, other images of a Super Lois Lane are shown, while the Lois Lane Superwoman story is reviewed. In this story, Lois Lane is hit by a truck and sent to the hospital. While Superman races to track down a surgeon to help her, Lois dreams that she receives a blood transfusion from Superman. The transfusion gives her superhuman powers. She becomes Superwoman and rescues Superman from the criminal scientist named Dr. Scowl. When Lois wakes up, she learns that Superman found a surgeon and that her adventure was just a dream. The next step happened in Superboy number 5 in 1949, cover shown here, in a story titled Superboy Meets Supergirl, in which Superboy meets Queen Lucy and uses his powers to make her seem superhuman in a contest, and during this contest she is called Supergirl. Next, in Superman number 123 in 1958, cover shown here, in a story titled The Three Magic Wishes, Chapter 1, The Girl of Steel, Jimmy Olsen wishes for a Supergirl with powers equal to Superman. She gets kryptonite poisoning, saving Superman, and Jimmy wishes her out of existence before she dies from the kryptonite poisoning. There was positive fan reaction to this Supergirl story. In Action Comics number 252 in 1959, shown here, the most familiar version of Supergirl made her first appearance. So the answer to the initial question is, it definitely appears that earlier female versions of Superman did lead to the creation of the most familiar version of Supergirl. To show the evolution of her appearance and the sort of adventures that she gets involved in, a chronological series of comic covers about Supergirl are presented, including covers from the following comic book series: Action Comics, Adventure Comics, Superman, Supergirl, and the Superman family. Supergirl was created by writer Otto Binder and designed by artist Al Plastino. The reaction to Supergirl's first appearance was tremendous, with thousands of positive letters pouring into DC Comics. Supergirl was created as a female counterpart to Superman and shares his superpowers. Supergirl, like her cousin Superman, is a Kryptonian. Supergirl also has an Earth 2 universe counterpart, Power Girl, who is also Superman's cousin and is now in the same universe as Supergirl, and the two appear together in several of the covers in this video. There was a Supergirl movie in 1984 with Helen Slater starring as Supergirl, and Sasha Calle played Supergirl in the 2023 The Flash movie. Supergirl has also been on TV, notably with Laura Vandervoort playing her in the 7th season of Smallville, and Melissa Benoist playing her in the Supergirl TV show that started in 2015. In January 2024, Millie Alcock was cast in the role of Supergirl and is set to debut in the upcoming Superman movie before her solo standalone movie set in the DC Universe, which is to derive significantly from the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow 2021 to 2022 miniseries by writer Tom King and artist Bilquis Evely. In 1969, Supergirl's adventures became the lead feature in Adventure Comics, and in 1972 she got her own series which ran until 1974, followed in 1982 by another series that ran until 1984. Because of changing editorial policy at DC Comics, Supergirl was initially killed off in the year 1985 in the limited series Crisis on Infinite Earths. DC Comics subsequently rebooted the continuity of the DC Comics universe, but with Superman as the sole survivor of Krypton's destruction. After the conclusion of Crisis on Infinite Earths, several different characters, written as having no family relationship to Superman, assumed the role of Supergirl, including Linda Danvers and Sorel. After the cancellation of the third Supergirl comic book series, which was from 1996 to 2003, and starred the Matrix Linda Danvers version of Supergirl, a modern version of Kara Zor-El was reintroduced in 2004 in the Supergirl from Krypton story in Superman Batman number 8. The 2011 to 2015 Supergirl series featured a new iteration of Supergirl, Kara Zor-El of Prime Earth. It was part of the New 52 revamp and relaunch by DC Comics of its entire line of ongoing superhero comic books, which followed the conclusion of the Flashpoint crossover storyline. In this series, after spending several decades in suspended animation while her spacecraft orbited the sun, Kara Zor-El lands in Siberia. She is captured by men and notices that the sun is yellow and realizes that she is not on Krypton. She escapes and then grips a man in her fist and demands to know where she is, but he cannot understand Kryptonian. Then she sees Superman flying overhead, and in Kryptonian he commands her to stop. After initially being hostile towards Superman, he explains that she now has superpowers due to Earth's yellow sun, and that Krypton no longer exists. She parts away from Superman and soon encounters a super dangerous person that is interested in her. Her adventures continue from there, and there were more Supergirl series after this series. Supergirl has had more than one origin story. What follows is one of them. Supergirl is a survivor of Argo City, which had survived the explosion of the planet Krypton and drifted through space. The city had been covered by a plastic dome for weather moderation devised by Zor-El, a climatologist and engineer, and also the younger brother of Superman's father, Jor-El. The dome held together a large chunk of landmass under the city as it drifted through space in the general direction of our Earth's solar system. However, the bottommost layers of bedrock were affected by the explosion of Krypton and slowly and steadily turned into green kryptonite, which can kill Kryptonians. Using raw deposits and refined materials at hand, the residents of Argo City laid down a ground shield of lead foil to protect them from the developing kryptonite. Zor-El created a makeshift propulsion system to try to accelerate the city's approach to the solar system. During the roughly 30 years Argo City traveled through space, Zor-El met and married Allura, daughter of Inzi, who then gave birth to their daughter Kara, who is blonde like her parents, and later becomes Supergirl. Before the propulsion system was able to steer the city towards Earth, a deranged citizen named Jerem, who was suffering from survival guilt, damaged the exhaust, veering Argo towards a swarm of meteors that crashed into the underside of the landmass on which it rested. As the inhabitants of Argo were being killed by the green kryptonite radiation release by meteorites shredding the lead barrier, the adolescent Kara was sent to Earth in a rocket to be raised by her cousin Kal-El, also known as Clark Kent and as Superman. To ensure that she would be recognized by Superman, Kara's parents gave her a uniform that was similar to Superman's uniform. On Earth, Kara gains powers identical to those of Superman and adopts the secret identity of Linda Lee, a resident of Midvale Orphanage. She conceals her blonde hair beneath a brunette wig and functions as Supergirl only in secret, at Superman's request, until she can gain sufficient control of her powers and the wisdom to use them properly. Later, she is both adopted and known as Linda Lee Danvers. She attends Midvale High School, graduates from Stanhope College, changes careers several times, holding jobs in student counseling, news reporting, and acting in a TV soap opera. Kara has many boyfriends, but places her super activities first. Supergirl's secret identity is a closely held secret known only to Superman, her foster parents, and the Legion of Superheroes, of which she is a member for a time. Streaky, the super cat, her orange cat, acquires temporary superpowers as a result of its exposure to X-kryptonite, a form of kryptonite Supergirl accidentally created in an unsuccessful attempt to neutralize the effects of green kryptonite. Comet, the superhorse, a former centaur, is Supergirl's horse companion. Like her cousin Superman, Supergirl, also known as Kara Zor-El, gets her powers from a yellow sun, which Earth has. Like all Kryptonians under a yellow sun, the current version of Supergirl possesses virtually unlimited strength, stamina, and invulnerability. Supergirl is able to fly and can run with super speed, but is unable to match speedsters like the Flash. Also, like Superman, Supergirl possesses super senses, super breath, and freeze breath, as well as multiple forms of supervision, including X-ray, heat, telescopic, and microscopic vision. Supergirl also has a bioelectric aura that enhances her near invulnerability and also protects her skin and her costume from dirt and tear. Supergirl also has a longer lifespan than that of a human being, to the point that she's effectively a biological immortal. Supergirl does not require food, water, or sleep to survive. Supergirl is also immune to most diseases, mental and physical, and would require a very strong strain to have a chance to affect her. In the rare circumstance that Supergirl is harmed by someone matching her strength, or by the use of one of her weaknesses, she can heal almost instantaneously. Supergirl's power exceeds most other beings, although she can be overpowered by those who rival her strength, such as Black Adam, Darkseid, Despero, Doomsday, Bizarro, Wonder Woman, and Superman. In regards to the future of Supergirl, do you have any plot ideas for her in comic books, TV shows, or movies? Are there any other characters, such as Power Girl or Wonder Woman, or other specific female superheroes that you want her to be involved with? Do you want Supergirl to retain her traditional costume appearance, or are there any changes that you want made? More videos about Supergirl, short and longer, can be viewed at the Comic Excitement Convention Supergirl playlist. Please like, comment, subscribe, and click the notifications bell.